Hey everyone, welcome back to Mr. Holland's Classroom, where today I'm going to be reading a spectacular story, The Sneetches. So, this story was written by Dr. Seuss, and this story is just so amazing, and it teaches us a pretty valuable lesson. So, let's jump in, shall we? Now the star-belly Sneetches had bellies with stars. The plain-belly Sneetches had none upon theirs. Those stars weren't so big, they were really so small. You might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. But because they had stars, all the star-belly Sneetches would brag. We're the best kind of Sneetch on the beaches. With their snoots in the air, they could sniff and they'd snort. We'll have nothing to do with the plain-belly sort. And whenever they met some, when they were out walking, they'd hike right past them without even talking. When the star bellied children went out to play, could a plain belly sneak get in the game? Not at all. You could only play if your belly had stars, and the plain bellied children had none upon theirs. When the Star-Belly Sneetches had Frankfurter roast, or picnics, or parties, or marshmallow roast, they never invited the plain-belly Sneetches. They left them out cold in the dark of the beaches. They kept them away, never let them come near, and that's how they treated them year after year. Then one day, it seems, while the plain belly Sneetches were moping and doping all on the beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up with the strangest of cars. My friends, he announced in a voice clear and keen, my name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean, and I've heard of your troubles. I heard you're unhappy, but I can fix that. I'm the fix-it-up chappy. I've come here to help you. I have what you need, and my prices are low, and my work at great speed, and my work is 100% guaranteed. Then quickly, Sylvester McMonkey McBean put together a very peculiar machine, and he said, you will want stars like the Starbelly Sneetch? My friends, you can have them for $3 each. Just pay me your money and hop right aboard. So they climbed inside, and the big machine roared, and it clonked and it bonked and it jerked and it burked and it bopped them out. But the thing really worked. With the plain belly sneeches popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon theirs. Then they yelled at the ones who had stars at the start. We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all just the same now, you snooty old smarties. And now we can go to your Frankfurter parties. Good grief, groaned the ones who had stars at the first. We're still the best Sneetches, and they are the worst. But now, how in the world will we know? They all frowned. Which kind is which, or the other way around? Then they came Mr. Bean with very sly wink, and he said, things are not quite as bad as you think. So you do not know who's who, that's perfectly true. But come to me, friends, do you know what I'll do? I'll make you again the best niches on beaches, and all that it will cost you is $10 each. Belly stars are no longer in style, said McBean. What you need is a trip through Star Off machine. This wondrous contraption will take off your stars so you won't look like sneetches who have them on theirs. And that handy machine works very precisely, removing all the stars from your tummies quite nicely. Then, with snoots in the air, they paraded about, and they opened their beaks, and they let out a shout. We know who is who, now there isn't much doubt. The best kind of Sneetches are Sneetches Without. Then, of course, those with stars got frightfully mad. To be wearing a star is now frightfully bad. Then, of course, old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into the Star Off machine. Then, of course, from then on, as you probably guessed, things really got into a horrible mess. All the rest of the day, all of those wild screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up Sneetches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machines they raced around and about again, changing their stars every minute or two. They kept playing money, and they kept running through, until neither the plain or the star-belly Sneetches, whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. Then every last cent of their money was spent. The fix-it-up chappie packed up and he went. He laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They will never learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch. But McBean was quite wrong. I'm happy to say that the Sneetches got really quite smart on that day. The day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches. That day, all the Sneetches forgot about stars and whether they had one. No, not upon ours. The end. That is what I call a great book with a moral of the story. Do you guys know what the moral of the story is? The moral of the story is basically, what is the story teaching you that will help you be a better person? Does it really matter if the Sneetch had a star in their belly? No. They were all the same Sneetches. It's just they looked a little different. And with them trying to look like a certain way or be something else, they lost all their money, didn't they? Oof. But they did learn that it didn't really matter at the end of the day who had what because they were all the same. So I hope that you learned a little bit about that. And maybe your teachers are going to be talking about that as well. But that's all for me. So until next time, I will see you later. Bye, everyone.